I've just been very blessed to have been accepted by those who started my career and now new children who will hopefully continue it. Because I too have children to feed.
Sir, what are the highs and lows of your 30-year career?
Every other day is a high, and then the next day is a low. Then it's,
How do you handle it?
That's the good question because health-wise, I'm told that's why I have these maintenance pills and these new, what do you call that? I should know the term. These new organic vitamins I'm taking to replace certain enzymes that it has. Supplements. Thank you. Oh, I would have been dying all night. I'll be texting all of you. What's that word? Supplements to replace the enzymes and things that have been damaged through the lows and then the highs. In show business, it's there's no cruise control. None. You're hot and then you're not, and then you're talked about. If it's not positive, it's gossip. People even invest in gossip just to maintain, to stay in the game. It's health-wise, it's not great. I've become more jaded. If you look at my work in the early 80s as compared to now, my answers to the press, I was so, yeah, wow, my God, I'd say anything, and I'll love her forever, and I'm never going to break up with her, because you're young and you're so new and you want to try and experiment more than I can now. Now you're scared. Traveling is an issue now because I have children. Before I'll jump on the plane with no sleep, with maybe a piece of luggage, but maybe lang, because now you're packing each day. There's an underwear, a pair of socks for every day. You become more careful, more not complacent. Complacent's not a good thing, but more ingat, paranoid. Running is what I've become in a good way. I wish I wasn't this way because the kids nowadays, the way they answer with the press, they're so bold and, yeah, I'm seeing her, so what? Next question, please. Whoa, sa panahon ko, no way, I would be gone. My career would be over the next day if I was that blunt, that honest. So I've become jaded.
But since you started in 1982, did you expect that you'll really make it this big?
Well, you have to define big. I think I've made it this far because I don't know what big means. I think someone asked me, what is the secret to your success? I said, number one, not knowing that there's a secret. The fact that my secret is not knowing that what success is all about. They say when you do something once, that's luck. You can do it more than once, twice, 3 times, that's success. I think I can count on one hand what I've repeated that I've done more than once in my life. Now this new LP. Are we talking about 3D or the LP? Anything, right? The fact that history repeated itself when I wanted a Metro Pop in 1984. There's a dog here. 1984, and then again, 18 years later, I won again in the Metro Pop. I don't know if you know that. Remember the song Kane? Ask your parents. Google it. It was the sixth Metro Pop, and I was the winner interpreter, not the songwriter. It's a songwriting contest. And then 18 years later, they asked me to interpret the song entitled Pag-uwi. That's another song that I did. Julio Campo and Joey Ayala. And it won. So I was one of the very few singers that can say he won in 1984 and then 18 years later. Things like that, for me, is the secret to success. Not knowing you've arrived. If you know you've arrived, that's it. You're done. You have to always believe that you have not arrived. It's the journey, not the destination.
Speaking of joining contest, are you still open to doing that?
Actually, yes. You know what? That's a good question. Because 80, that Metro Pop thing was an issue. So what? Even my friends in the business, are you crazy? You did it already. You're done. You're already Martin Nievera. You're a big star. Blah blah blah. They said, yeah, but it's not my contest. It's a songwriting contest. If the song wins, I win. If the song loses, the song loses. I didn't write the song, right? I interpreted badly, maybe. So it's not me really who's competing. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the tool, the instrument for this sana future hit maker to win and be glorified for that one song. But even to this day, I don't know if you know this, before I joined X Factor, before I was chosen on X Factor as one of the judges, I wanted to join X Factor in the States. I represent either Las Vegas or Hawaii. As a Filipino American, a Philab from Hawaii where I grew up, or Philab from Las Vegas where I go back and forth to. Stand in line for how many hours, waiting for my chance to audition for X Factor. I didn't have that chance because before the auditions, I already sent an audition. An audition, I could have sent a music video, I could have done anything, right? I sent an audition video of me singing a cappella. And before I could go really in audition, I was asked to be a judge. You can't be a judge and jury at the same time. So I didn't get a chance. So the long answer to your very short question, yes. If there's a contest that I think I could at least compete, maybe not win, or I would want to win, definitely I would join. Sayang eh, how fun our business, we can, singers, we can do things like this now. Back in my time, walang American Idol, walang mga Philippines Got Talent, nothing. We had none of that these kids have today. I would so love to be part of one of those reality shows.
Any particular composers right now na inaay mo?
Composer?
Yes.
I love Junji Marcelo. I think he's got great happy tunes, like the one of Zia, and even the one of Daniel Padilla. I mean, I don't see myself singing that song. Do you? The Walker. But I like his. We kulang kami sa mga happy songs, especially this guy. All my songs are about death of love, separation, come back to me. I would love a happy song from Junji. I still am a Louis Ocampo fanatic.
Yeah.
Marvin Carrido and I have been writing songs. I wrote one called Magic. It's part of that CD. But there's a song on that CD that I don't think anyone would really listen to a lot unless I tell you to listen to it. It's called Are We Really Praying? And you'll hear a rap, not by me, but there's a rap there that was written. I've never had a song with a rap in it. So I think this old dog can still be taught new tricks, you know? And that's what I'm trying to do in my 30th year and onward, is to listen more, critique, constructive criticism, even destructive criticism, even on Twitter and all of these social networks that I'm just learning how to get into now. I like it, I want it, I need it, or I'm gonna grow stale, I'm gonna grow old, and I'm gonna die. What keeps me alive is singing, performing, being in front of a bunch of strangers and pouring out my heart and soul. That's what I love to do. That's the best part of my job.
So, sir, 30 years, that's got to be a lot of concerts, right? So, in every concert, do you have any pre-show ritual that you do for performing?
If there's one ritual that stayed with me since day one, it's the long, long shower before the show. Or if there's a bathtub in the place I'm in, even better. Because what I do is I take my Siemens guide, which is paper. You know what paper is now, right? Computer freaks, I have all of your things on it. And I stick it on the wall. You're good pala. And all the good articles of Baby Hill. On the wall of the shower, or the bathtub. And I stick it, the sequence guide. And then I just sit there or shower there and envision myself doing every song. So some showers have been 2 hours, 1 hour, depending on how much time I have. It became such a ritual that if I don't shower before a show, I think it's bad luck, even though I don't believe in bad luck. But I always think, I gotta shower first. Is there a shower in the hotel? So that's one. Another is that I've learned, the most latest of rituals that I've learned and has been taught to me by Miss Lea Salonga is to be quiet the day before and the day of the show. Pag number things sa sound check, banat na. I'm not very good at that part, the quiet part. But I'm learning. I lost my voice the last 3 weeks. I just got it back a few days ago. And that was the number one thing that I was told. Lea Salonga's doctor, she recommended her doctor. They said, you have to shut up. I don't know how to shut up. Obvious, but. So those two things, quiet and shower. So when I see you on the day of the show, I'm smelling good, and I'm singing loud.
Sir, you're already the concert king for as long as you can remember. What are the challenges of making another concert, of upping the ante? How do you do that?
It's the most challenging, especially because what you just said, if people do believe in titles, and if I am to live up to this. No, not now. Do it that right now. Here in front of all of them. That's my new shake. Is protein. When are they looking so I can throw up in private? Concert King. You say 30 years. Talagang may pressure na ngayon. Every time. And I'm just so happy that Viva has allowed me to have a major concert of this size solo. That's not uso now. I mean, now it's to have like Gary and I as one, Sarah and I, Sharon and I, the side in. It's Pops, Regina, and Augie. And my last show was 4 of us. Nowadays, it's value for money. So for Viva and Red,
Still.
thank you. For Viva and Redstone Productions to come together and say, okay, we're going to give you a solo show. That is huge. That is the biggest compliment that any singer at 30 years in the business called the Concert King can ever receive, is even just the offer. So now the pressure is I have to make Viva and Redstone believe that they made the right decision. I have to make everybody who comes to watch the show remember what I used to do and why they call me the Concert King. And that in itself is sleepless nights, pressure, tension. What if they don't arrive? What if they don't come? And then, of course, my friends from Viva and Redstone want to say, who do you want to guest? You know what my answer was? Nobody. Well, just in case, they don't show. Don't you want someone there, like, more popular than you? Please? Parang ganon. So you're thinking, but the good thing about the producers, they said, whatever you want. So I asked for an orchestra. It's the ABS-CBN orchestra. We're going to be doing whole songs as opposed to half of songs or medleys of songs, which is what I was doing, to be able to give way for my co-stars. We cannot do all our songs. We'll be there 5 days. So putting all of that together is talagang sobrang pressure because I have a lot to prove. You think being called the Concert King, you have nothing else to prove. That's where you're wrong. In this country, every show that you do, you have to prove something. If you go on stage acting as if you have nothing to prove, nothing to show, I don't want to watch that show, because it's just another show. It's the one that I'm scheduled to do or contracted to do. Oh, we have former contracts with you. Sige, let's do one now. Para matapos yung contract. Well, no, everything has to have its right time. And I'm hoping September 13 is the right time. We're a year late. I'm really 31 years in the business. But again, we're waiting for the right time to do a solo show. There will be surprises in the show, but like I said to Viva and my friends from Redstone, I don't want to say even the word surprises. I want to see if they're coming for me. Back in the 80s, we only had to put Gary V in concert. That's all you needed. Walang Twitter, walang Facebook, walang Instagram. Basta by word of mouth or by posters in stores and a couple of TV guestings. So there were only 2 TV stations at that time. Punong-puno yung Araneta. Martin Nievera in concert. That's it. Valentine's, Martin and Pops before in the 80s. That's it. Now you have to have all these guests to make sure that their fan base will help fill up this venue. I want to see if I can do it by myself. So really the answer to your question will be on September 13th. And if it's not full, I'll accept it. I will know, and so will they. They will know, well, this is where you are now. Maybe we should start going to more intimate. It's not a failure. It's just a sign of the times. Maybe Martin Nievera, the Concert King, cannot fill up 15,000 people anymore without some friends on the poster. I want to find out.
But what can people expect? Are you gonna do something that you've never done before in all your other concerts?
I did that. See, that question's always asked in the shows I've done before. One was Dance with Gary V. That's a heart attack in itself, right? Or to sing with the ex-wife again with Augie and his wife, a husband and wife, and an ex-husband and wife on stage. What's wrong with this country? Diba? Everybody wants this kinky feeling of the exes and the wives and the O's. I've done all of the things that what would you do if you've never done before? I did it. In this show, I want to do what I used to do before. You guys call it throwback. Back in my day, we call it old school. And that is sing the song with beautiful instruments. Don't play with it. Don't turn Be My Lady into a reggae song. Don't start rapping in between Say That You Love Me. That's not what I do. I'm hoping, this is also a big risk, because even just by asking the question, there will be a lot of people wondering, what's he going to do now? So the answer is, I'm going to do what I used to do then, so that we, the people watching, and we, the people in my industry, will see that this is the way we used to do it back then. this is why I was blessed with the title Concert King, hoping that there'll be so many people in that place that they won't even wonder what I'm gonna do next, or if he's gonna dance, or is he gonna jump on this top and land in a very small pail of water, or something different. What can he do? I used to fight with myself as to how I'm going to enter the stage. One time I did a car that broke through the wall, a styrofoam wall. Well, I came down like remember Mission Impossible when he was coming down like this in the old back in the time. Different ways of getting into the stage. This time I'm just gonna walk on stage. That's something new. Because you have to go with the times too. We have to accept the fact that we're also 30 years in the business. He's 51 years old. His music is also like 50-something years old for a lot of people. I want to be able to give you the music that I gave you years ago that hopefully will bring you back to a happy place in your life or in a time that was very happy for you.
Sir, are you still pressured with the title? You're the concert
I don't
king?
like titles now. If you
Yeah.
come to if we had this interview in my house, it'll be just like this. There's nothing on the walls of my house that remind me of being the concert king. All my trophies I've ever received in the last 30 years, all my citations, whatever, I've given them to the fans.
Does that mean you're open to the idea na someday it will be gone, the title?
Or taken by someone else, sure. But I don't worry about it because I don't believe in titles. I think titles are goals. They're not reminders of greatness, but a goal to greatness. I mean, that's how I feel. Other people, they love it. They love this. Me naman, when I see it, I want to cry. I'm going, my God. Number one, I was so thin. And then number two, wow, and then when I hear my study tapes now of my old songs, people are screaming like there's no tomorrow. I'm going, my God. I want to show this to Daniel Padilla. Because back in the day, they screamed for me like that. I couldn't shop before. Now I can shop and take pictures with people. We're hugging and kissing in shoe marts and whatever. I'm cool with it. But back in the day, I had to go from they had to close the mall at Christmas when artists would shop before. I mean, back in our time anyway. But I'm not afraid of losing it because I don't believe I have it. You can't be afraid of losing something you don't believe that you have. When they say to me, you're the concert king, and they say, what do you feel about that? Concert king to me means I have to do a performance fit for a king, not a king performing. Kings don't perform for kings. So I have to, how will I do it? I didn't make up this title. I wish I did. It's a cool title, Nievera, even if I sucked. What a great title. So I always say, every performance I do, there's no such thing as a small gig, a small show. Every show, -1, CD promo in the mall. I sing like it's a concert for free. Every show that I do, big or small, has to be fit for a king. That's why I am the concert king.
So what's your most memorable concert, sir?
When people usually ask that, I always say the next one. Because I don't want to retire early. But my most memorable would probably be the very first. And none of you will ever be able to see it. Because it was so bad. The attendance was unbelievably good. The Folk Arts Theater was so packed, that it's the only show that I know of that had to be repeated 2 weeks later. Most repeats are a year later, 3 months later, or 4 months. They say it was part 2 or whatever. We had to do it again 2 weeks later. The sound of the people screaming overpowered the sound of the band and my own sound system. So I couldn't hear anything. So all of my notes, every single note was off key, the whole show. I should have just taken pictures because that was the pinakaunang show, the first time on stage. So everything was bad, even the camera shots were bad, nothing. It was never televised, never captured, nothing. So for me, it was the most memorable. It was August 21. Actually, it was the evening of the death of Aquino. August 21, 1983, 4?
83. I was
83.
there.
You were in my concert?
Yes.
You're that old?
I was 5 back then.
5 years old?
I was asking Arlene earlier if Martin did have a concert on the day when Nina was assassinated.
Yeah, and then I get a call from the girl I was seeing at the time, and she goes, guess what happened? Yeah, I just arrived in the Philippines. I don't know any history, nothing. They said that
Yeah, my mother told me that she dragged me there. And the next concert, she didn't drag me.
Anymore?
It was
Well, then I don't know if you can remember when you were 5 years old.
I don't remember. She said I didn't enjoy
It was awful. It was an awful. Oh, I mean, it was a good show, a good song, with motorcycles on stage and everything. But I couldn't hear a damn thing. Two little speakers for my monitors. Tapos dumating yung 9,000 or 8,000 plus people. Wala. Beginning to end of the song. So that's probably my most memorable. The second would be the one, my biggest one, at the University of Life football field, about 55,000 people. That was huge for me. Martin's Rage, it was called, when the Rage band was very astronomical. It was a very big group at the time. They put a balladeer, they painted me all up, put Elvis Presley clothes on me, and they made me look like a rocker, and I sang Be My Lady and all my hits but rock. Well, because the Rage band was huge, so we had like almost 50,000 people in the football field called University of Life. And then that night, right after the show, they rushed me to, I forgot where, but to receive the most promising Entertainer of the Year award from Aliu. That same night, in the clothes I was wearing, I went straight to this awards thing, and the most promising, whatever, Mark Nievera, I ran up the stage. So that was memorable.
You mentioned that you're not planning to retire yet. What more do you want to achieve in your career?
More than anything, I want to see my children realize their dreams, and since Robin, my eldest boy, seems to be wanting to follow the same path his mother and I have chosen, I want to see him reach, I want him at this table also, I want to see him being asked questions like you're asking me now about his years of success and blessings. I want to see that. I want to be alive long enough to see that. If I can be part of it, even better. Also, I also want to be, like you all know Tony Bennett, right? I mean, you see how the guy has aged, Frank Sinatra. I want that to happen to me too. I want to be able to be considered for projects because of the years of perspiration that I've invested in this business, in a business that's been very, very good to me. Also, I want to be able to see what I've started, see how, where, if I did anything, if I contributed anything to the music industry, I want to be able to see how it's evolved and evolved and evolved. I'm seeing it now. I see a lot of these young singers. I know they're not playing their cards correctly because, you know, you're here today, gone tomorrow, as we said earlier. You really have to be careful how you remember the people you met on your way up. They're the first people you'll see on your way down. Remember the small people, not the big people. Popularity and fame and fortune is temporary. These are things you cannot tell that we're very young and popular. They're so stubborn, Robin included, my son included. It's so hard to hold on to the bottom of their genes as they're soaring high with the feeling of fame and masarap pala to. Oh my gosh, music na to. That's so temporary. So I want to see all of that. I want, especially in Robin's career, I want to see him become the next concert king of the world.
So you do imagine yourself growing old singing, still in the business?
Actually, I see myself singing, but maybe not with this kind of schedule that I've had, which is, I used to have a concert every other 4 months. It's lessened now, but I see myself growing old really, and I still believe in this. I see myself growing old on television. I see myself in a late night talk show, Sana Channel 2, but whatever channel will have me, they'll have me grow old with them. I wanted it to be ABS-CBN, but they have other plans for the time slot that I was on. I don't know if they'll get me back to do my late night show. I don't know if there's a market for it, but I truly believe like the Lettermans and the Jay Lenos and all of that. See how they started, you know, then as they're getting all white hair and medyo not so in shape anymore, they still can do their talk show. There's still a niche that they can have, and I want that because then I can still be somehow involved in helping other people with their careers. I'm a huge fan of Ellen, and the thing I like most about her is that she's so generous. Degenerous. She is so generous as a host, as opposed to it's all about you. You know, what's up? You know, here's what I'm doing. You love me. I'm great. That's easy to do, but I want to be that kind of host who can grow old with the station. The one who says good night to the country he's from. Good night, Philippines. I was doing that for so many years. I want to do that for the rest of my life.
Sir, so if another station offered you that, Are you willing to?
They've been offering me that, but I'm so in love with ABS-CBN, and I don't know if the feeling is mutual. I hope it is, but contracts keep you from moving also. But back in the day, before I had a contract, I just had a handshake. I'm the longest artist in ABS-CBN, so it would be a really bad move for me to move, regardless of how tempting the offer is. But having said that, I'm so in love with everybody there. I fall in love with people. I don't just fall in love with women. I fall in love with people. And I don't see it. I can see myself having a nicer house, a more beautiful car. All these kids in ABS have nicer cars than me, you know, and it's like depressing. But anyway, but I won't be able to sleep well at night knowing that I hurt so many people just to get that new car or get that new house. Of all the artists you'll see in ABS-CBN, my home, my car, my life is the most humble compared to them, because I'm not searching for more income. We all need to search for better income, but I'm so in love with everybody in that station that whatever they give me, I grab it and I hopefully turn it into something bigger than what it was when it started, like a teleserie theme song, as opposed to a teleserie or a guesting on a TV show or X Factor for 3 months, rather than having my own show. I'm on ASAP, right? I've been there for 18 years. I was there since day one of ASAP. Can you see me on another noontime show at another station? There's been offers for that too. And I just can't see it. For someone who is no longer married because he was unfaithful, I am the most faithful guy that you'll ever meet on ABS. Weird, right? Anyway.
Just to clarify, you're getting offers from both stations, from
Yes,
Sydney and PBS.
75. Yeah. And nice of them to keep asking me because the way I talk about ABS. Who's gonna want you when you talk like that, diba? But it just means that there is a market out there that they see that I could in other words, they believe in the show. They believe in what I'm doing. I don't think it's anymore. I'm not the guy you're gonna get just to piss off your station. I was, but I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not that. I don't think I am the guy who, you political reasons, you come to the other side, you know. So now it's because maybe I think they want that show. They like that show, and they don't see anyone else doing it.
Sir, what's the best lesson you've learned in your 13 years being in the music industry?
I think the best lesson is that everything that you achieve, everything that you dream to achieve, there really is an end at the end of the rainbow. Before I didn't think. I thought I'm going to be the way I am forever. I've learned to become more grateful. Everything that comes my way, I'm just so humbled by everything around me that I find myself more a fan than a fan of the industry than I am part of the industry. I don't know what that answers your question, but the lesson there is that I've been slapped so many times. I've been up and down so many times. I've bounced back in my career so many times, and I think so many times to come, that I've learned the art of bouncing back. And that for me is the hardest thing to learn, because fame and stardom really can blind you, you know, and you make stupid decisions, you say stupid things on TV, and people are very forgiving. After 2 weeks, it's over. It's another scandal, and they forgot what you said, you know. But the person that I was when I first started showbiz, and the person that I still am, I'm happy to announce, is still the same person. I didn't lose myself through all of my failures and the bouncing back I speak of. I didn't lose myself. I almost did. I really did. I really thought I was everything that the press said I was. I would even fight people to say, well, I'm not like that, you know. But those days are done. I think now, call a spade a spade. You know, you tell me what you think of me. I'll try to defend myself. Kung talagang ayaw mo makinig or you don't want to believe, okay lang. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life proving to you that I am more than what you say I am. So the lesson there is I have become, I've saved myself in an industry that can actually make yourself implode.
So sir, after this concert, this major concert, what will be next for Martin Nievera? Perhaps a new album or more shows in the future?
Sana, again, it all depends, you know, they always say you're only as good as your last song or your last concert, your last victorious story, you know. So I'm hoping that September 13 at the Araneta will become yet another swinging board for me to collaborate. Believe it or not, I have offers to do shows with other artists that you won't believe, like Ann Curtis, and can you believe that? So we came out with a video now that I don't know if you saw it.
But
Now we're
Minty
getting
accepts
offers to go in concert together.
But Minty accepts her, the music video. How did
I love Anne extremely. I don't know anybody, I've not met anyone yet who says anything bad about Anne. And I think if there's anything I'm good at, it's finding good people. I found it in Sarah Geronimo. I see it in Ann Curtis. We're not close. I don't know anyone in her family, maybe her sister. But Marvin Carrido, her musical director, and mine, in many shows, my co-songwriter, he thought of this idea. And he said, would you be interested? I said, yes, most definitely. And it was just the handshake and the hug and a kiss. We were not even together in the shoot, kami ni Ann. Iba-ibang day yun. So, kasi
Why,
nasa
sir?
siya or something.
Why did you accept that?
It's
Is it
fun.
because it's
See,
Ann?
that's to answer your question earlier. See, these are the things we old dinosaurs have to do. We cannot sit on our thrones and say, I don't need this. I need it. Definitely. This is what I mean by old dogs, new tricks. This is what everyone's talking about, the internet. The internet. Even my kids, Dad, come on, get with the program. So maybe I'll be doing more of these collaborations, maybe experiment more on the internet. How about a talk show on the internet? I think all you kids would know that that's the next move.
Your podcast.
Indeed, that's it. But I don't know if there's money there.
Yeah, there is.
See, I don't even know. I'm how many years in this business? I don't even know how to make money. It's never been about money for me. Ask anybody. Ask anyone who knows me. So I have to do more of that. I have to be more savvy, more today savvy, more computer. I have to get with the program. In short, I have to get with the program. If it means to do shows with Ann Curtis all over the world, I'm already her guest in the States. Guest, I'm her guest. I'm the guest of Ann Curtis. Ann Curtis was my guest before I did the market. And now I'm her guest. She gets the suite, I get the economy room. No, I'm kidding.
Sir, frankly speaking, are you hurt with that kind of treatment?
Not anymore. Remember, I grew up, as a singer, with a more popular wife. And every time they see her, she's so pretty. What happened to you? My point, I'm so used to being second fiddle that it's so nice to be first once in a while. No, I mean, what I'm saying is, it just hurt me that she's better than me or more popular and all of that. That's just what I'm saying. It could have been
Or you being just the best?
like
Just
the
a
guest
guest.
of, no, that's what I'm saying. If I did not save myself with good people around me, humbling myself with every failure, yes, it would be the worst experience to be someone's guest. Or imagine Gary and I back to back. Who knew that one day that would ever happen? Back in the day, we would never have accepted. But because the industry that I thought would kill me is the same industry that saved my life. And that's why everything is okay with me. Sometimes they worry, hey, your name is not on the dressing room. So what? Why, malaking bagay ba yun sa ibang artista? I don't know. Am I supposed to be? Is it supposed to bother me? I don't know. Should I be like some of these artists who are so, would I get more gigs? More endorsements? But you're not gonna like me. Diba? It's a hard choice. There's so many artists, I won't even mention any names, who are billionaires, but no one really likes them. I mean people, regular people, the ones who really matter, the ones who should really matter. Not your co-star, the ones who, kunin mo yung ano ko! And then they belittle you and everything. That's not a star. A star is someone that you can actually really, you can be unapproachable, meaning, abot, hindi kaya ko abutin, but he can be touched. If I can touch you, you can touch me.
Nice.
Sir, I'm just curious.
Who's that? You again. Ang weak yung boses mo, akala ko may anghel or something like dumating.
No, sir, kasi you told a while ago that you don't keep your trophies and awards, but do you keep your CDs? Because the last time I checked, you had 26.
CDs?
Yes, albums.
I don't even
mean,
know how many I have.
Yeah, so I was researching at 26.
26 really?
Yeah.
Not counting the pirated
You
ones.
don't
right?
have complete, yes, sir.
So pirated have a
You don't
billion.
keep even a single CD of your.
You know, we just released 2 LPs, right? 2 albums. Like the old days, my birthdays. Albums, vinyl. We just released 2, just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And every store I went to, I don't have a record player, right?
Right.
So I went to a record store. Can you play my record? I want to hear it. I don't know how it sounds. Anyway, they said, you know, we have your old album. I don't have one album of mine. Back in the day when they were LPs, the first, I don't even have my first.
I have the Christmas album.
No, I don't even have
I
that.
have a Christmas album.
Yeah, that's
Wait, the
mine.
one like this?
Ah,
In pajamas.
The
red, white
pajamas?
pajamas.
the
It was
pajamas?
re-released in CD naman.
Yeah, but what I'm
I have
saying
the one in
is,
CD.
LP.
to answer your question, I don't have any of that. Even my most promising entertainer of the year, and then 6 months later, I won entertainer of the year. Do you know anyone else who can say that? 6 months later, and in fact, I was in trouble for that. They said, how can you say that he's entertainer of the year? It's not even a year. Should be entertainer of the 6 months, okay. But they gave me the award. I don't have any of these awards. I even had teddy bears. I'm not proud of it, but I have like 76 teddy bears. I used to collect teddy bears. I gave it to different orphanages. But all my trophies, all of my plaques, although my gold albums and gold, you know, those things we get on ASAP sometimes, that's in my house, in my studio. But not in my bedroom, not in my living room. Just in a, you know.
Why, sir?
I don't want to be reminded of it, and it depresses me at the same time. It adds pressure to what I'm already doing. You know, not just that title you were asking me about, but oh my God, how can I make a platinum album again or something? I don't want to be reminded of greatness.
Okay.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but it just it sounds almost cheesy that I don't want to be reminded of how well I did. But there's gonna come a time when I need to see that. You know, like when I want to build myself up or whatever. But I'm hoping that I won't need to look at accolades and trophies to know how great I am or was. We shouldn't look back and say, yeah, I was so good. I was so, you can always be better. There's always room for improvement, diba? But if you keep staring at all your accolades and how great you were, you'll never get better. So for me, plain walls, a few paintings, you know, my son Ram is drawing since he was the age of 3 that I framed through the years. They're all on my walls. And I have one room, the one that leads to my bedroom. It's wall-to-wall pictures of everybody I've ever known. So when people say, what do you collect? I say, I collect memories. And that's all I collect. Really cheap, no. But you'll see, memories are priceless.
Yes.
So, sir, you've done a lot of shows and you recorded a number of albums. Which is more at home for you, the stage or the recording studio?
The stage. Even though my notes are better in the studio, thanks to Auto-Tune. No, thanks to, you know, technology nowadays, you can put yourself in that situation. It's very dark. It's a love song. They make the light very dim. You have a coach there coaching you how to sing. But on stage, live in front of strangers, that's the happiest place on earth for me. People always say, you know, what is your happy place? Can you believe it? In front of strangers. I could never be dishonest in front of my own family. But when I'm in front of strangers, for some reason, or the camera's rolling, for some reason that I cannot understand, I'm the most honest person. I'm almost bluntly honest, even about my mistakes, my shortcomings. They all become punchlines of my show. Never at someone else's expense, always at my own expense. But it's the most comfortable place for me on stage. Really weird. And I know 100 singers who can sing better than I do. I know a lot of people who can perform a lot better than I do. But my happy place, this guy, right there in the middle of the stage. Weird.
Sir, can you name some songs na you will never sing?
Never sing? Ooh, good
Kasi you've
question.
sung a lot of, ano na eh.
I'm not good with titles, but well, in this album I have like a club song. What do you call it? What do you call that? Club or
The tugs
house, maybe?
The house music.
It's called Take Off. You should hear it. It's written and produced by Mark Feist, who also produced songs for Beyonce, Brandy. You know Brandy? All of these African-American soul singers. And most recently, Enrique Iglesias. This was supposed to be for Enrique Iglesias. And he's also a distant cousin of mine. Says, I want that song. Sa pinsan, may bagay sa'yo, man. Bagay, Filipino, but man. He gave it to me. Anyway, I'm okay with that. Today's club mixes, they always put a singer, a real singer, and then they mix the hell out of it, right? I don't think I can rap. I tried it once with mga kababayan ko, but I use it for my sponsors. Mga kababayan ko, itong mga sponsors ko. And then I put in I like to take a Jollibee and that's as close as I got to rapping. They like the rap of Ann Curtis. You see how fast it was? No way. I will break a blood vessel if I do that. English na yun, ha? Kahit English, no way. I can't do it. So probably rap. I love rock. I do love rock, like rock ballads. Brian Adams and John Bon Jovi. Yung mga ballads niya. But hindi to the point of Eros. I can't do that. That's probably it. But everything else I love. I love music. I love jazz. I love the old standards of before. Sometimes I wish I was born during the time of the crooner. Johnny Mathis, Nat King Cole, Bobby Darin, and all of these people who used to sing and just, all girls would swoon and faint. Nowadays it's not that, it's not that faintable or swoonable. No one's doing that anymore. It's like you're either on something and you're high and I like it, so cool. So sad. Back in the day, music was the drug.
So is there any particular song that you always include in your concert? Yung hindi nawawala na kanta, and the song that your fans really go crazy when you started singing it?
Depends on the generation. There's one song that I sing even to this day. The old and young love it, and that's Be My Lady. And I try to sing it differently every time. But that song I cannot do a show without. That would be one. You Are My Song. The fans really relate to that because I tell them that's my song for them. And Kenny Loggins Forever. For some reason, even Kenny Loggins, who came here a couple of times, he couldn't believe that I got the screams. I said, because they think I recorded that song, not you. It's Kenny Loggins' song, but he didn't know that was his hit. It wasn't as big a hit in America as it was here all over Asia. And here in the Philippines, I sang it in every show. So it would be those two. Say That You Love Me, I love to sing. Love. And then Broadway. Both young and old love it when I put some Broadway songs together. So you'll hear all of that on September 13th at the Araneta. Anything else? Sorry to make you wait. The traffic was atrocious. And you know where I came from? Makati. Makati lang. Usually I would be coming from Alabang, so
Alabang, you're great.
I had a great excuse then, right? But I just came from Makati, which is crazy.
Sir, can you promote the concert again?
September 13th at the Araneta Coliseum, 8 p.m. with the ABS-CBN Orchestra. Louis Ocampo is your musical director. Roel Santiago, the director, and yours truly, one of the fools on that stage. September 13th, 8 p.m. 3D, Tatlong Dekada, the concert. Please join us.